Welcome to this activity where I'll teach you how to create a beautiful business card for yourself. This is going to take about 45 minutes to complete, and this is how your end result is going to look. It's clean, it's professional, and you can easily change both its design and content. The goals of this activity are 1. Teach you best practices for creating business cards. 2. Use smart objects to create this awesome presentation. Please note that you'll have to use a professional business card company to print it out. Using your own printer isn't going to cut it. Speaking about cutting, depending on what service you use, they'll require your design to follow a specific guideline. I went ahead and I found a template from moo.com, one of the biggest companies in this field. On screen, you can see their requirements. I won't get into it as that's not important for this lecture, but you should know your canvas should have a resolution of 300 pixels per inch. Regarding canvas size, that's going to vary from company to company, not to mention you may have business cards in all sorts of formats. Here, moo.com wants me to use 3.46 by 2.32 inches. This is important for them because that's how they can ensure your cards will come out perfectly. You have this document attached to this lecture. Please download it instead of starting from scratch. The most important thing is you don't design anything outside this dotted area. So we'll make sure our elements will be positioned according to this guide. Okay, let's get to the design phase, but feel free to hide some of these extra layers. Start with a rectangle that will cover this entire canvas. In pixels, that means 1038 by 696. Change its color to 221D19. This is a dark brown that will provide us with excellent contrast. In case you can't see it that well, right-click anywhere outside your canvas and choose another color for it. Something much lighter will help you out. Now let's add a bit of texture through the bevel and emboss layer style. Here are the settings I'll use. Style, inner bevel with a smooth technique. Depth, 600%. Direction, up, with the size set at 1 pixel. For the shading, I'll use a 90-degree angle. Turn the highlight mode to 10% opacity and the shadow mode to 35%. The next step is important. Enable texture from the left side. Here, click in this region to open up your library of patterns. Click on the gear icon, and from this list we'll choose a set called Color Paper. Photoshop will ask us if we want to replace the existing set or append. I'll completely replace it because there's nothing interesting here. Here you can play around with these textures, but I'm looking for one in particular. Metallic black. It's this dark one from this second row, though it highly depends on your window size. For the scale, go with 215%, and for the depth, plus 50% should be fine. Leave this Link with Layer option checked. All these specific measurements have been obtained through a trial and error method, nothing fancy about it. An important notice is this: we're using this texture for presentation purposes only. If you're going to send this design out to be printed, you don't want to add a fake paper texture. That's because you'll inevitably get some real texture from the actual paper that's going to be used by the printing company. In case you want to better understand why I use that particular depth or scale, try out various options and see how the design changes. In this case, I wanted pretty high values so you can see the grooves inside the paper. The darker the background, the more you have to turn up these sliders. Let's add some content to this card. Instead of using my name, I'll write, "This looks great," just for the fun of it, which is my username on all sorts of sites like Dribbble, Behance, Facebook, Twitter, etc. This is going to be all in lower caps in a serif font from Google Fonts. Its name is Bitter, and I'll use it in bold. For the size, go with 80 pixels or so, but this will depend on the amount of characters you're using. For the colour, I'll choose a light cream one, A3, 9C, 8C. Underneath, we'll add a second line that describes what I do. In my case, that's Photoshop Instructor. I'll keep the same colour, but I'll drop the size to 40 pixels. In this case, I'll mix this serif font from up top with a sans serif one, Josephine Sans Regular. This is also available on Google. Enable the all caps transformation, so this will be roughly 2/3 of the headline. Use your Control key to measure the distance between them. Notice Photoshop considers this G character a part of its imaginary rectangle. Let's leave a little under 10 pixels between the two. Speaking about their alignment, I want to leave about 100 pixels from each side, and I also want to align their left edges. About the overall look, here I'm going for something very conservative. Business cards are a reflection of yourself. That's why I suggest you keep things clean and elegant. Don't get shouty about it. Sure, add a dash of colour and personality, but never go overboard with it. I'll show you my personal business card at the end of this activity, but in general you should look for a blend between creativity and professionalism. Now I'll add a line through my rectangle tool. I want to maintain 100 pixels on both sides, so that means its width will be 838. For its height, something like 3 pixels should do just fine. Position it at the edge of our top line. Use Shift and your down arrow key to move it down. OK, the title Photoshop Instructor should be placed roughly 15 pixels from it. Next, I'll duplicate it and place it 15 pixels underneath it, just so I don't have to use the Marquee tool to centre this text layer vertically. The G, of course, is dragging on this line, so let's mask away that part. Add a rectangle that's a bit wider than your letter. Hold Ctrl and click on its thumbnail. Now switch to the line layer, hold Alt and click here. That will create an inverted mask. Finally, delete that extra rectangle and we're good to go. We now have a gap. You could have used a brush, but creating a selection from a rectangle is more precise. For their colours, I'll keep this cream line going. Double-click their thumbnails and sample from any of these text layers. So far, so good. For my contact details, I already have a bit of text prepared in Notepad. Let me get it and paste it in because I want to keep this pace going. For the settings, I'll stick with Josephine Sands Regular, 40 pixels. For the line height, something like 60 is going to be just fine. OK, we've made quite a lot of progress. Let's pick this up in the next lecture.